Hey, what's going on? This is Martone, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. And I am doing squats today. Uh, it is late morning. For those of us on the, I don't know how different it is for certain people, but on the East Coast. And the interesting thing about today and this workout, I think pretty much anytime I do legs, lower body. And as far as recording, I'm only recording the squat portion of my workout, but I wasn't sure what to try to record, and that's usually the case for lower body. But for me to going on 40 in 2025, July of 2025, and to compare to any young people who watch this, and the interest as well as the need to warm up properly, whatever properly is for each person. So for me going on 40 years old, I think it's always thought it was important, but at 40 more important. So with whatever number I go to today, to make sure I warm up properly. So this is, let me see, 1, 2, this is the third warm-up set. So I don't know how many more I'm doing after that, but this is the third warm-up set. I did 2 before I started the video. Or at least this is supposed to be the third warm-up set. So, so I'm gonna do it, see how I feel, and then see if I might want to or need or want to and able to put on more weight. All right, so a few things about that is, for those who didn't see my last video when I did legs, and the unnecessary movement that a lot of people are dedicated to, or many people were taught to do for decades, depending on the age of some of you. And the fact that many people have been told for decades to have your butt go down towards the floor, or touching the floor if you can. I never believed in that. when I was in high school and college, I didn't believe in anybody having to go down that far. I did try. When it comes to people not doing certain things, which is kind of dumb depending on what it is, but at the same time, kind of understandable depending on what people are doing. Um, to do 90-degree squats or something around there, um, and the fact that there's, in my opinion, and in many opinion of enough people, and there probably should be more people who feel this way. Again, it depends on what you learn, why you learn, and different things work for different people. So to do 90-degree squats, and there, for the opinion of many of us, there is no good reason, regardless of how much weight you put on a bar, to go down as low as people have been told to go. As an athlete, going down that far doesn't help you. And then when you're doing certain things in your life, at your job, at your business, doing stuff at home, picking certain things up off the floor, you know, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your grandchild, you're picking certain things up. There's no good reason for you to drop down that low just to stand back up. There's usually no reason to go down that far, depending on what you're picking up. Especially if it's heavy, because then you're going to probably go get help and have somebody help you do it. So again, there's no good reason for that, in my opinion. And the reason a lot of people get hurt is due to, yes, there are people who lift serious loads and go down that far and supposedly doing okay, but who knows how many times those people have to see a chiropractor and taking pain meds and doing a bunch of stuff before and after, compared to the rest of us not doing anywhere near as much, due to not being in anywhere near as much pain, if any pain, from not doing that, especially for those of us who want to lift heavy and going down that low. So, you know, do what works for you. But for me, 90-degree squats or some real close to it. And that's the same for bench and shoulder press and other things as well. For people spending decades, you know, going really low with shoulder presses and chest presses with dumbbells, with bars, and then wondering why they have issues with their shoulder and stuff like that. It's unnecessary movements that people are doing on many occasions, and that's because people have been taught unnecessary movements for decades, depending on how the age of certain people. All right, so I think I got 435 on right now. All right, buddy? Plus 140, let me see, that's 350. 40, 395. Oh, shit. So I think I got 445 on. Same thing happened when I did rack pull. So I think I got 445 on here right now, which that's somewhat of a oops. So all right, let's see how I feel with this. I've done it before, so let's see. it's not my max, but we'll see if I can do it today. Alright, so, ooh, that felt weird. Alright, so, shoot, just about out of plates due to me having so many of these smaller plates. So, you're alright, bud. See, did I? Yes, I did. Alright, so this will be the last plate I put on. And hopefully I can actually do it. If I remember correctly, this isn't my max either, so I should be okay. You tell him, buddy. For those of us that have a dog and they bark at almost any damn thing, especially people. But I think I have 485 on, which is not my max, but I don't really have much room because I have all these little plates on. These are 35s and the rest are 25, so I don't have as much room. And I gotta be careful anyway, because depending on how many of my videos some of you have seen, living where I live, I shouldn't be lifting like this, because you're supposed to be in the basement or garage, but I'm not. So I gotta be careful doing this stuff anyway. But yeah, I got 485 on. Hopefully everything is okay as far as me, as far as the floor. And again, I've done it before, so as far as me, I've done more before. So as far as me not getting hurt, as far as nothing happening to the floor, so, and hopefully I'm able to move somewhere that has I mean, we have a basement, but it's living where I live, there's like 4 of us, or 4 apartments, so all of us are sharing that basement. So if I was to put this down there, that would likely be a problem or in the way. So actually, I wonder how true that is. I wonder if I did put this down down in a basement, if that would be much of a problem, because people, I think, would actually be able to get around it. So I'm kind of wondering if I've been wrong about whether or not I can put this in the basement without management being upset about it. Especially if I don't say anything about my neighbors using it. But alright, this is 485. For this week, the goal is to do multiple sets of 2. And usually for me, it's 2 or 3 sets of whatever. So for many years, I only did 2. Especially the last 6 to 8 years, I only did 2 sets. Usually. So unless I'm feeling really good doing whatever number of sets or reps that I'm doing, to where I might do a 3rd and maybe even a 4th set. Not likely, but So to do this at least once, possibly twice. You got him, bud. All right, let's do this. 485. Oh, man. So, interesting thing about doing stuff like that, man, is people should definitely sleep better compared to those who don't try to lift whatever is heavy for you. So, when I go to bed tonight, I should feel fantastic. Depending on what happens between now and then. So, yeah, man, just to, so, again, I'm going on 40 years old this year, unless the Lord has other plans for me, or others. So, it's not like I just woke up and all of a sudden put 485 on the bar to do a set of 2 compared to others who might do a set of whatever. So, keep practicing. Hopefully you enjoy what you're doing. And then even if you don't, just understanding that it's unlikely for you to get really good at certain things without practicing who knows how many times per day, per week, per month, per year. So, trying to figure out what movement works for you, what equipment works for you, how much time to take in between sets, what speed to move at during and after sets, how much to keep yourself hydrated, trying to get a certain amount of sleep at night or whatever your schedule is. There's a few things to take into consideration for everybody. And then at the same time, figuring out what works best for you compared to your brother, your dad, your sister, your mom. Just because you might be related or went to the same school, had some of the same teachings, does not mean it's going to work the exact same way for you as it did for any other person. So I did 1 set, and I think I'm good to go ahead and try to do a 2nd set. So, especially with this week, the goal is to do however many sets of 2 or 3. 2 or 3 reps, and 2 or 3 sets. Definitely 2 if I can. 3, I don't know. So 3, I don't know, but I'm definitely getting ready to do a 2nd set. Feeling pretty darn good, and based off of the way that just felt, I should And the stuff I'm gonna do after, I'm not gonna record it, but the stuff I'm gonna do after, and when I get back here tonight, hopefully I sleep pretty darn good, because I can kind of feel as if having that load on my back that kind of felt like a strong possibility I'm probably gonna take a nap before I leave. So, all right, set number 2. You know what I'm talking about, buddy? All right, sorry, zoned out. I do that whenever I have a certain amount of weight on. I'll kind of zone out a little bit. So, all right. So I think 2 sets is likely it for me. Ooh. 2 sets is likely it for me. From doing this, and then move on to doing some other stuff. I didn't do step-ups last week, so I think I might go ahead and use these and do some step-ups. But as far as this, that is it. So again, it's not like I all of a sudden woke up at 39 years old and, well, obviously didn't just like wake up and decide for the first time, I'm gonna put 485 pounds on the bar to do squats or anything. I've been doing this stuff since 1999, which is before many people were born, depending on how old some of you are that are watching this. So, or your babies. So, again, I've been doing this stuff for decades, going on 4 decades. Different loads, different ranges of motion, different number of sets. I don't think I ever went that crazy on sets, even when I was younger. I don't think I ever really cared about doing a bunch of sets, except I remember reading something or hearing something, and I think for some reason young people hear and read certain things about doing 10 sets of 10. It seems like a lot of younger people end up doing stuff like that, and I did that for a certain period of time with chest, and I think I did it with back, and many times I would go back and forth doing 10 sets of 10 for whatever short period of time that I did that on chest and back day. So point being just to do whatever worked for you, but I've said it before and said it for a while now. Depending on how many exercises you're doing, and almost regardless of how many exercises you're doing in your workout, I don't think there's any good reason for you to be doing a certain number of sets per exercise per workout. It does seem like the people who do that look better, but one, their the stuff that they eat is probably on par. One, and then two, and I think I've said that a few times this month, depending on when certain people see some of my videos, or the last few years. Yes, these people look better, the CrossFitters and some of the many others, even the gymnasts, but the gymnasts, they're working out 6 days a week, I think 6 hours each, but they're doing a bunch of different stuff. So it's not like they're doing, the exact same thing depending on what, every day for a certain period of time. So, you know, the people who do more sets and do, more of certain things, hours of certain things, are likely doing many different things. So a few different things, if not many different things. So there's a reason for them to work out as long, and again, probably only do but so many sets. And then at the same time, the injuries that people have from doing so many sets, so many, depending on how heavy they're going. And then even if they're not going heavy and you're still doing a certain number of reps and sets. And, so again, there has to be a real good reason for you to be doing certain things. If certain things seem to work for you, go for it. But other than that, doing what makes sense, doing what works for you compared to what works for someone else. So just because I did this and some other people go heavier and whatever some of us are doing, doesn't mean it's going to work for you and certain people. Like for me, due to surgeries that I've had in my stomach, and when people have, any person has, pregnant women having C-sections, and anybody who has certain stomach surgeries, or maybe it's just specific to certain people, but with the stomach surgeries I've had, I have more of an arch in my back than others, whether I'm doing stuff or not. And then once I try to go heavy with deadlifts and squats, I feel like I have to be more cautious in what my range of motion is anyway. And then not only the range of motion, the amount of weight. So thankfully, I'm still able to, especially with decades of practice, to put, this amount on. And I've gone heavier. I think I've had like 565 or 575 on the bar before, doing my 90-degree squats. So, again, do what works for you. And then not only that, if you actually need or want help along your journey, and depending on what you have going on, struggling to lift a certain amount, not sure why you're struggling, Especially seeing that I've noticed that sometimes it's just the fact that changing the way your stance is when it comes to squats and deadlifts, change and then similar changing your hand position when you're doing bench press and deadlifts, especially with someone that I met when I moved here in Amherst, New York, and I had 405 pounds on the bar for deadlifts for however many reps I was trying to do, and then for some reason, it seems like this guy would watch me for some reason and try to think whether or not he should try what I'm doing, and I don't know, him trying to compete with me or having somewhat of an issue with me or to a certain degree, and thinking, well, if he can do it, I can do it, or whatever the case may be. But I have 405 pounds on the bar, and I've told this story a few times, but it's one of the most interesting things because of the fact that with me having 405 on the bar and however many reps that I did, and I probably only did 2 sets because that's usually my thing. And this guy is like, you know, can I try it before your next set? I think he asked me. Like, sure. I don't think he warmed up either, so that was another thing. I was like, sure, you know, and he went to do it. Thankfully, I watched him. And he went to do it, and he didn't succeed. So one, the stance that he had with his feet, and then two, for some reason, he had his hands like very narrow in the bar, which makes it harder in terms of balance compared to him not necessarily having the strength. So I just asked him, like, why did you hold it why did you hold the bar like this? And I think he said, I don't know. And I was like, well, I think you can do it. Just try to bring your hands out. And sure enough, he waited a little bit, went to do another set, and he lifted it. And it looked like it was less challenging, which it should have been, for him to lift it compared to when he did it the way that he tried to do it the first time. And it didn't work compared to moving your hands out, and all of a sudden you lift it and you're like, oh shit. So you know, again, sometimes some of the changes that need to be made with high hopes, somebody saw you and actually knows what they're doing. And actually knows what they're doing and can make suggestions that actually make sense, especially if you do something like that, having your hands that close in, your hands or your feet really close in, and making it harder than it has to be, because now you have to worry more about your balance than you do, unless that's your goal, and focus more on your balance. But if that's not your goal and you're making it harder for yourself than necessary, so again, in terms of me, I believe I introduced myself in all my videos, regardless of if I'm in a rush or not, but I'm the owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. So in terms of needing or wanting help with online workouts, and that's whether I send the workouts to you and you do the workouts on your own, or if there's time on my end, well, yours too, but time on my end to do a live video chat similar to this, except it'll be live and we can hear and see each other. And I can, you know, tell you your workout, you try to do it, then I can actually see what you're doing and tell you live, like, hey, try this, try that, do this, do that. Hey, it looks like it's too heavy today, you know. So depending on what kind of help you need, what kind of help you want, to send me a direct message on Instagram at Fuller Fitness BNY. I'll put that information below the video, so we can get going with that for anybody that's interested in that, you know, and just figure out what it is that you need, because again, it's different for each person, whether we figure out what to do in terms of using different equipment, doing less sets, taking a certain amount of time in between sets, whatever it might be, changing your foot position, changing your hand position, whatever it is that it might be that you currently don't know, and having me to see it, depending on what we have going on to where I get to see it and can actually tell you, hey, try this, try that, or if you send me a video, like this is what I usually do, then I can tell you, so there's so many different ways to make this work, and instead of you trying to figure it out and getting hurt or trying to figure it out and it taking longer like it did for me, even though I think that might have been, I don't know if it was more my fault. I didn't really know who to ask. So I guess to a certain degree it was my fault in terms of how long it took me to get to certain numbers, especially for bench press, and to a certain degree with squats. And then with deadlifts, there was a lot of times I didn't do it because I didn't really understand what it was for a while. To now it's one of my go-tos, except that now instead of deadlifts, I'll do rack pulls. So again, if you need or want help, you get to actually do that, especially if you actually watched a video like this, whether it's me or whoever, you're interested in strength training and possibly looking for some kind of edge. So here I am. If you're actually interested in that, with the decades of experience that I have. So I'm going to try to stop talking so much so that this video isn't longer than it has to be, even though it already has been to a certain degree. I'm not sure how long, but because I don't have my glasses on. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give it a like to help me out, as well as helping others being able to see this who haven't seen it already. And then if you subscribe so that you are more aware of future videos if you haven't subscribed already. And then if you actually know people who might be interested in this at least a little bit with what I did and what I've said, if one or the other, to share it with people who might be interested, even if you don't know for sure, to share it for just in case people actually watch it. So this is for the sake of sharing my fun and doing what I love, and then if I can actually help people who actually want it or actually need it, that's better for me, and then helping however many people that I get to help without it taking a lot of time. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you're looking forward to the next one. This is Martone, owner and trainer, Fuller Fitness. Take care.